Hey guys, what is up? It's Legion of Gaming here, and we are back today with another episode of our Mass Effect Legendary Edition playthrough on Insanity difficulty. In the last episode, we went ahead and knocked out all of the Cerberus side quests with Admiral Kahoku as well as with the murdered scientists. We also went ahead and did one of our origin stories, one of our backstory quests, which was where we get sent to go and deactivate this espionage probe, and we actually got a little bit of backstory about the Saleon Blitz, which is where we became a war hero for defending Elysium from a bunch of slavers who were trying to attack a human colony. But in this episode, we are going to be doing Wrex's family armor quest, and we're going to be doing Garus's quest with Dr. Salen. So let's go ahead and pick these quests up. I've been able to get them for quite a while. I just wanted to make sure that it was going to be a good episode where we could do both of them at the same time. So let's start talking with Wrex here.
Shepard.
So you will just go here and talk to his family, because you can just exit the conversation if you aren't ready to do it right then and there. And you can also just go to the planet, and you should be able to go to the location where his armor is at and get it anyways, even if you don't get the quest, I do believe. But I prefer to just do it this way, so that way you have that additional connection with Wrex, because again, him and Garus are not only one of my favorite characters, but I think everyone's favorite characters.
You must have family other than your father. Don't you miss them?
You're trying to make me cry, Shepard. I've got some unfinished business with my family, but that's all.
Oh, really?
What kind of business?
Before I left, I made an oath to my father's father. I swore to recover my family's battle armor. It was taken from him after the uprising.
Do you know where the armor is and what's so important about it?
What's so important about this armor?
It's a relic. Useless, really. But it was worn by 5 generations of my family before the war. It's rightfully mine. Originally, it was taken by the Turian military. We weren't allowed armor or weapons after the war. Now, it's in the hands of Taun Actus, a Turian scum who collects relics from the war. He's made millions selling Krogan artifacts that were stolen from my people. He's got several bases where he stores his goods, all fortified and guarded. I just don't know which base has my family's armor.
I'll look for it with you, Wrex.
Just tell me where to start looking.
I'll upload the data to your nav system. But Commander, I want to be there when you find him.
Wouldn't have it any other way, buddy.
So long, Wrex.
Shepard.
Alright, so you got the journal update there, so that way it tells you where you're actually supposed to go and such. But now let's get Garus's.
Commander, good to see you.
So if you just go ask Garus about personal questions, then he will start talking to you about Dr. Salen.
You've been with CSEC a while. Have you seen much action?
Well, not as much as you, but yeah, I've seen some interesting things.
Anything specific?
I'll bet you have. Anything in particular that stands out?
I remember the Solarian geneticist I was sent to investigate. That case was a bit disturbing.
Disturbing?
What happened? Why were you investigating them?
I was tasked with tracking black market trade on the Citadel. Most of it harmless, nothing I needed to pursue. But during the course of my investigation, I noticed an increase in the trade of body parts, organs mostly. We usually get a few of those, but not the numbers I was seeing. We weren't sure if there was a new black market lab or if some freak was harvesting organs from citizens.
Is this common?
You've seen this before on the Citadel?
Every so often, some lab sells unwanted parts through the black market, but they're not as bad as the psychos. I remember this one Elcor diplomat we caught in my first year on the job. He was hacking people up and selling their organs, had the station in a bit of a panic. But this case wasn't that clear-cut. Turns out there was more going on than we first realized.
What do you mean? What did you find?
So how did you figure out what was happening?
First, we got a hold of a sample and ran DNA tests. The weird thing was, the match led us to a Turian who was still alive and was very convinced he'd never lost his liver. After a bit of digging, I discovered this Turian worked briefly for Dr. Saleon, the geneticist. So I went to his lab hoping to find evidence of cloned organ development, but there was nothing. No Salarian hearts, no Turian livers, not one Krogan testicle.
Krogan testicles?
You're kidding, right? Why would anyone want Krogan testicles?
Some Krogan believe that testicle transplants can increase their virility, counteract the effects of the genophage. It doesn't work, but that doesn't stop them from buying. They'll pay up to 10,000 credits each. That's 40,000 for a full set. Somebody's making a killing out there.
What about the doctor?
What did you do about the geneticist?
I brought in some of his employees for interrogation, to see if I could get them to talk. While I was interviewing one of them, I came across something suspicious.
Interviewing?
You mean threatened? Was that really necessary?
Maybe, maybe not. Either way, it paid off. One of my detainees started bleeding profusely during the interview. We offered to patch him up, and he got frantic, freaked out. I ordered a full exam to find out what was going on. Our medics found incisions all over his body, some of them fresh. That was our big break. These people weren't just Dr. Saleon's employees. They were test tubes, walking, living test tubes.
That's sick.
He was growing parts inside these people?
Exactly. He cloned their organs right inside their own bodies. Then he harvested them and sold them off. Most of the victims were poor. He'd pay them each a small percentage of the sales, but only if the organs were good. Sometimes an organ wouldn't grow properly, so he'd just leave it in them. Most of them were a mess, but only on the inside, hidden so nobody could see it.
Did you interview him?
I hope he got what he deserved.
That's the worst part. We never caught him.
What?
Why not? What the hell happened?
He ran, blew his lab, grabbed some of his employees, and headed for the nearest space dock. By the time I found out, his ship was already leaving. He threatened to kill his hostages if we tried to stop him.
They just let him go?
But you went after him anyway, right?
I ordered Citadel Defense to shoot him down, but CSEC headquarters countermanded my order. They were worried about the hostages, worried about civilian casualties if the ship was destroyed so close to the Citadel. I told them those hostages were dead anyway. We just used them to make more organs. They wouldn't listen.
I agree with them.
Well, it's not worth the risk. You pursue the vessel and disable it. That's the best choice.
They sent the military after him, but he got away just the same. Yes, they did. I went to Palin and told him what I thought of him and his policies. He said if I didn't like it, I could quit. Well, I almost did. All they had to do was disable that ship, stop him from running. Maybe the hostages die, maybe they don't, but at least we stopped the bastard responsible for it all.
You're wrong, Garus.
If you don't care about the fate of those hostages, then you're no better than he is. You're just a terrorist with a badge.
Yeah, maybe you're right. It doesn't make it any easier, but I see your point. Just wish I could have stopped him. That's all.
Dr. Saleon?
Do you have any idea what happened to Dr. Saleon?
I sent out feelers from time to time, hoping to find something. I thought I'd found him a while back. He changed ships and changed his name to Dr. Hart, his idea of a joke, I guess. I told the military, but they weren't convinced it was him. I got the transponder frequency for his new ship, but I just can't get anyone to check it out.
Give it to me.
I'll check out the coordinates when I get a chance.
I was hoping you'd say that. But Commander, take me with you when you go. If it's Saleon, I want to be there when you find him.
Alright, so that should take care of most of our dialogue for this episode. We're just gonna get on back up to the bridge and get underway with these missions. Probably going to tackle Wrex's first, because there is a little bit of exploration involved in his, because his is on a planet, whereas Garus's is just a ship, so you just show up, go to the ship, and do your thing. Whereas we got a little bit of driving in the Mako ahead of us for Wrex's mission. So for Wrex's mission, you are going to want to go to, I believe it's Tuana, which should be in Agris Row, and then over in the Gorgon one, I believe. Nope. This is the wrong one. Let's just make sure that I got everything off all of these planets real quick. Yep, sure did. Alright. Phoenix, maybe? Yeah, I think it's Phoenix. There's a different quest that you have that's over there in Hydra. Yes, here we go. This one right here. So if you just go here and land, you should be good to go. I'm just gonna, you know, check and make sure there's nothing hiding for us out here in these asteroid belts real quick. Nothing hiding on any of the planets for us to survey. Get onto the planet here. Now, on the exploration for some of these planets, remember we were talking about there being the valuable resource mission and those sorts of things. This is one of the few ones where you actually have a resource deposit that's like on the edge of the map. So if you are doing that quest, just be mindful that sometimes they'll be close to the edge or at that red line over on your map. So it's like over here in this area, but we're gonna go over here first and do the anomaly. And then obviously we'll be trekking back across there for Wrex's armor. But so you see how you have this little red line basically that's follows us around the whole time whenever we're exploring. You can go a little bit past it and it won't like go and insta-kill you or give you like a critical mission failure or anything, but if you just keep going past it, it will eventually give you one. Now over here you're probably thinking, oh well, the anomaly must be that Prothean pyramid over there, right? No, it is actually not. It's actually this little crash speeder over here in front of it. So even if you go up there and climb to the top of that Prothean pyramid, there's not going to be a Prothean data drive like there was on that Cerberus planet from the last one. It is an Asari matriarch writing, actually. That is the artifact here. Bam. Just keep on racking up our experience. And then in the last mission, in the last episode, we're talking about the next higher tier of weapons for the Spectre weapons. I was doing a little research online, and in the original game, it was usually after you made the, you had to make like $1 million or something like that and get the rich achievement. And it was also if you hit like level 55 or so, something like that. And people were saying that for Legendary Edition, that they thought it was for you to hit 25, and maybe after you did the Vermeer mission. So we'll go ahead and check back again, because I already checked again off camera and saw that it was not there for us just yet. So once we hit those two little road marks, so we will go back and check again for that. Because as you can see, we're almost a full Paragon. We'll probably hit level 25 either in this episode or the next one. Just kind of depends on how much combat we have. So that's why it's good that we're continuing to do this side content and this sort of stuff here, so that way we can get there faster. And then I have not decided yet what we're going to do for the next episode. I'm thinking it might be Vermeer, but I could be persuaded to do one of the other missions as well. And then actually, we could finish up that quest we picked up from our mom's former crewmate. Could do that one and then tag something else on there for that episode. That might be what we end up doing. But over here is where I was talking about, where you will see a resource marker that is going to be off a little bit on the edge there. So this is a little bit of an easy way you can go, is right up here. And then just follow it on through. And then, you know, you're just waiting on your little speed boost. Okay. Had a little bit of a backwards slip there. There we go. That got us. So when we get out here, you're gonna hear Joker come over the intercom here. And we got it. Another light metal survey. And so what you can do is, if you go right
You need
here,
to turn back, Commander. You're going beyond the range of the operational area.
so that's what I was talking about, where if you go too far past it, it will give you that instant critical mission failure. And of course the, hey, we're just gonna go over here and just take the quick way down. Hey look, everything's fine. And off to the secret lair base of this artifact collector, who's apparently been selling all sorts of ancient Krogan artifacts that he's stealing from Tuntau, which is the Krogan homeworld. Outside, it should just be, I think, like 4 or 5 guys. And then inside you have a little bit of a fight ahead of you, but that is it. These guys will be pretty high level, as you know, the enemies are leveling up with us, and we are playing on that insanity difficulty, so just bear that in mind, that you don't want to just kind of bum rush on in there. Just take your time like we always do. We're going to come at the structure from this side, so though we're coming from the flank.
You need to turn back, Commander. You're going beyond the range of the operational area.
No, we're not. Calm down. Whee! So if you ever get stuck up down like that, all you gotta do is just hold one side of the movement buttons, and it'll eventually flip you on back over. Now in the original game, you would actually have to go back and reload. And there would also be little pits that you'd get stuck in. Surprise! Oh, there he is. So, once you clear these jokers out, you can just go right on in here.
This is the place. My armor's here somewhere.
So we're just gonna make sure everybody's got all of their stuff on. There we go. Thought we had gotten some new armor for Wrex. Yeah, and then ours is good. For Garus, he doesn't have one. Oh, so then something else I did off camera when I was selling things was we got the upgrade I was always talking to you guys about, which is this medical exoskeleton. Which, if you look at it, it's got a little bit more health regen, slightly less toxic resistance, but the big thing is that 15% reduction for power cooldowns. So, once you get 2 of those, because you have the higher tier armors, it's pretty OP. So, for right here, you can kind of just stay down low, and then you can just come in here and trigger them, and then just fall back to the door and fight it nice and smart. If you fight them right here, it's not really going to be a very fun time for you. Get him, we're gonna fall back. The reason for that being, even though you see we're not taking that much damage, just being in that area is not gonna be the best spot for us, because obviously we are not like Wrex, we are not like Garus, where we'll want to be over here constantly fighting in these close quarters combat situations, because it's not what we're built for. We're built for, you know, stand back and take our shots whenever we feel like it, and then you can go in to finish like that. As you can see, let's go ahead and just stasis this guy. And then this way we can overload him, sabotage him, use overkill for so we are going to go ahead and use the shield boost here. Go ahead and use Singularity and overload there, and use
Jammers online
again. Go ahead and put our immunity on, use sabotage. Alright, so again, just waiting for our shields to come up now. So then right here, go ahead and just put overkill on for him, dampening, and sabotage again. As you can see, we have a fair bit of cooldown regeneration at this point, so it's not as hard. This is kind of why I was saying you don't really want to be over here fighting with them like this, is just because, as you can see, this is not where you really want to be at, and they just get to keep running around, kind of doing whatever they want. But if you just go back there to the door where you were at before, you can just funnel them in there. But I was just confident in our abilities. And and then remember to always be careful whenever you have those snipers, because if you already don't have shields and you're on this difficulty, you are going to die if you do, especially if it's a higher level opponent like this guy. Go, got him. And if you're ever just like, oh god, we're gonna die right now, you can always just, you know, use that immunity and or use your shield boost or your meta gel. And you see how fast our health regenerate in there? Just imagine how high it's gonna be when we get another medical exoskeleton. So let's get this stuff all grabbed up. There we go. Got another one here. So just more upgrades for us to sell. And Wrex's armor will be on the top level here. Nothing lootable down there. Then you have plenty of stuff in here.
This is it. I can't believe my ancestors ever wore this piece of crap, but at least I've got it back.
That's great.
I'm glad we could help you get it back.
I might just be starting to like you, Shepard.
Wrex touches his grandfather's armor, his expression thoughtful perhaps? Krogan are hard to read. Then he shakes off his bemusement and grips his gun with renewed purpose. Time to move on. So that right there, if you just do that mission, even if you have literally no Paragon, no Renegade, no anything, you can go do Vermire and everything will shake out just fine. You will not have to pass any of your speech checks or anything like that. The other way you can get through Vermire without having to do all of your side content is just don't recruit Garus before you do Vermire and then go back and recruit him afterwards, and then you can also not have to pass a certain speech check on the Vermire mission. So as you can see, we got that one crossed off. Now we are going to find Dr. Saleon, which for him it is in the Kepler Verge in the Herschel system. So let's get on over there. I think it's this one, yes. And not Newton, Herschel. And per usual, just gonna check everything, see if there's anything to survey, see if there's anything in the asteroid belt here, which there is heavy metal. That little outline there, the little crosshair looking thing that we get whenever we identify things, is where the ship will be at that we are looking for in this system. Let's board. Alright, not going to be anything to loot right in this area. This area is going to be the same as the last one, where we just don't want to be using our sniper rifle unless it's for like the opening shot, just because, as you can see, lots of tight corridors over here, so just not going to be the thing to do. Let's go ahead and use dampening and marksman. Go ahead and use Wrex's warp and our singularity there. Go ahead and use our dampening, use sabotage, use throw again. As you can see, these things are pretty tanky. We are also pretty tanky here ourselves, and if you're ever in trouble like this, just do this lovely little thing. Oh look, everybody's back alive now. And then you can always just melee them down like that and make it really easy. But, you know, because Garus and Wrex are being controlled by the AI, they basically won't ever do an actual melee attack. So don't believe there's anything. Yeah, no, there's not anything in here for us to loot, really. The only loot is going to be in here. I didn't see that door doesn't open. This one does. We'll check the bridge first. Nothing here, so our guys gotta be in here.
Thank you. Thank you for saving me from those things.
Commander, that's him. That's Dr. Saleon.
What? My name is Hart. Dr. Hart. Please, get me out of here.
Are you sure it's him, Garus?
Are you sure it's him?
Positive. There's no escape this time, Doctor. I'd harvest your organs first, but we don't have the time.
You're crazy. He's crazy. Please, don't let him do this to me.
She's not crazy. I can see her name in the subtitles, bro. Hashtag spoiler alert.
We'll
Back
take
down,
him in.
Garus.
Drop him off with the military.
But we have him. We can't let him get away. Not again.
Think, Garus.
If he dies, we'll never know what he's been up to or how he did it. We'll take him in, interrogate him, and he'll serve his time.
Okay. You're right. You're a very lucky Salarian. You owe the Commander your life.
Oh, thank you so very much.
No sarcasm in his voice at all. So you can shoot
And
him,
so he
use
dies
an
anyway.
ability,
What was
whatever.
the point of that?
Literally does not matter what you do, he's just gonna kill over. I'll tell you what the point was, Garus.
You can't predict how people will act, Garus, but you can control how you'll respond. In the end, that's what really matters.
Yeah. I don't think I ever met anyone like you, Commander. Well, I guess we're done here.
Saleon's medical equipment is stained with the blood of many species, pale blue, violet, orange, and more than a few dark red, but his work has ended here. Time to head back to the Normandy. Not before we loot everything. You crazy? Somebody gotta use this stuff. And so, once we get this done, we'll head on back to the Normandy. This one's not going to be very fun. Not even close, boys. Not even close. So, back to the ship. This quest was one I always found was kind of interesting, even though it's kind of short, just because of how dark a lot of the medical quests are. At least in Mass Effect 1, because, you know, you have the Biotics who kidnap the chairman, you have Biotics that went and took control of a little bunker and fortified it and are holding all the scientists hostage. You have this guy, you have the people experimenting on people by injecting Thresher Maw venom into them. It's just crazy. But so, just before we end the episode, we are going to go down here and talk to Wrex and Garus and see if they have anything else to say to us. Because I think Garus does. And like I said, really if you just talk to your crew members after each and every mission, you'll get a lot more backstory and enjoy the game a whole lot more, in my opinion, because you can tell it's really put a lot of effort into fleshing out a lot of the characters in this one.
Shepard?
Alright, so nope, nothing
Wrex?
for Wrex. Talk to Garus.
Commander, how are you?
Nope, alright. Well, if that's the case, then let's just go ahead and sell a few more
Looking for
items
supplies?
over here.
Let's see what
You bet, Commander.
As you can see, we are already back to having maxed out armor. Here you can see this is a pretty sick armor. You can buy it if you want, if you're intending on using Ashley, because unless you're a soldier, you won't be able to use this for it yourself. And then, like I was saying before, you can go ahead and, if you want, get a second set of this stuff for some of your guys. So like for Wrex or Garus, we can go ahead and get them this assault rifle, just because we have the money for it. But come on over here and put him on with this. Transfer that on over. But like I said, that is going to do it for the video today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Really helps out the channel and is going to help us grow. But I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.